everyone. It is Self-Care Sunday. Yes, it is. Welcome to Self-Care Sunday, Mother's Day edition. Welcome to the program, folks. How are you today? What are you, yes, you, grateful for this Self-Care Sunday? Tell me about your day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. In whatever shape, form, and size of mother you are. I guess is a weird way of saying it, but, you know, we are mothers to many. Mothers to many. And there's one Adele and Dazzle are here. Happy Mother's Day, Adele. Dazzle, it's treat time. Even on Mother's Day, you get treats. Hope all is well with you. Hopefully Charlotte showered you on this wonderful Mother's Day. It is such a holiday that brings such mixed emotions for people, and I truly respect that. We are mothers are a special breed, that is for sure. It is special. It is very special. The relationships. How are things in everybody's world tonight? What are you all grateful for this Sunday night? As we kick off week 60 and 61, week 60 and 61, we're kicking off tonight on this Mother's Day, Self-Care Sunday edition. Self-Care Sunday, so important as we kick off the week here. That day every week where you recharge, you refill your pitcher, you unplug to recharge and reconnect and recharge your batteries so that you can go get them for another week. You can go get them out there. We had I guess sort of a chill day. We didn't work. I guess that's a good thing. We didn't go into work. And we didn't spend much of our day at the desk. We didn't really spend too much time at our desks today. So I guess that makes for a good day. We spent a few minutes at the desk, but not too much. We moved furniture around today at home. Oh, always fun to move things around at home. You know, to get things going here today. It's kind of what we did today. Is how we spent the day, and then we went out for ice cream and then got takeout dinner. So, hey, what the heck? You know, ice cream before dinner. Hey, Kitty, how are you? Great to have you here. Or ice cream for lunch, really. Ice cream for lunch, I guess, or an afternoon snack. And then take out dinner. Our stores were open. They actually did pretty well for Mother's Day. They did well. They had a good Sunday for Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a very weird day. Traditionally, it's very slow. Normally for us, it's a slow day. A few years ago, pre-COVID, we started having a sale on Mother's Day, which actually made for a Mother's Day to be a busy day, because we don't do sales very often at all. And we started having a Mother's Day sale on Mother's Day because it's normally dead. But today we opened and we staffed as a normal Sunday, and they had some good sales today. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, decent day, as Kitty says. So I am thankful for that. And ice cream is good anytime. You'll this place is pretty neat. This special place, we have several good ice cream places in our area. That have the cows right there and everything. But this place we went to takes the liquid and flash freezes it. They have nitrogen freezers, and they flash the cream with nitrogen to flash freeze it, and do it in all sorts of interesting things. It's a really neat thing. We should have that at a conference some year. Nitrogen. They have a food truck that'll come out to events. They have a food truck that does events. But I actually thought of you today, Adele, because it's right across the street from probably somebody you knew back in your fur days. Max Zeller Furriers in West Hartford, Connecticut. They're right across the street from them, and they're looking kind of closed, which wouldn't be a big surprise in the fur business, but they have a marble slab there too. They put it in a KitchenAid mixer and then they flash freeze it. They put the mix-ins on the marble slab, but then they flash freeze it in a KitchenAid mixer. They put the nitrogen in there, and it creates this show. The place is called Milk Craft. Milk like the drink, craft, Milk Craft. You'll have to look it up online. It is. I'm not doing it justice, but it's really very neat. Hey, Kathy, great to have you with us. Glad you were busy today. Great to hear that everybody was busy today. I am very thankful to hear that. And yeah, people are thinking events again. Hey, Lindsay, great to have you with us too. Live tonight. It is, yeah, people are thinking events. One of my buddies who's a DJ, who actually just like a couple weeks before COVID left his real job. Okay, he does DJing and he does events at bars like trivia nights and things, and he has a whole thing going and all the equipment, and he does all sorts of. He quit his full-time job just like 3 weeks before COVID shut everything down last year. So it was last night was like his first wedding in forever. And, you know, it was the first time he did a real full DJ event in forever. So it was nice to see that. And it's nice to see that industry start to come back. It is hard for that industry, though. You know, the challenges that are still faced with the events and hospitality sector and restaurant sector. I mean, as stressed as the retail sector is, for staffing and how to staff and everything else. Well, let me get started and I'll talk about that a little bit. Let me get started. We start every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Tonight, if you're following along in the book, we are on page, page 116. Good morning. I believe in you. Not always in our leaders, not always in the subway schedules, but always in you. You unwavering. That's how we get this party started. So the hospitality, you know, it is crazy difficult for scheduling right now because it's still a roller coaster. You can have dead days. You can have crazy busy days. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. You know, I mentioned the other day that Friday night we tiptoed. We are still at our pre-COVID, at our COVID business hours since reopening. And a lot of that at this point is really because to not stretch our staff anymore, not stretch our staff and not stretch ourselves for more business. But there is more business to be had. Now, I mentioned that Friday night was the first time that we stayed open a little bit extra because I have some people there working on projects, part of our normal night crew. They work a couple nights a week in normal times. And, you know, on the first Friday of doing that and staying open an extra hour, they did a very respectable amount in that extra hour. So I was happy to see that, more than worthwhile for doing, and, you know, significantly more than any other Friday. Now, part of that was probably people weren't getting rushed out at 5, at our earlier hours, but it was good. And so we'll see how that continues in the coming Fridays. But I'm not ready to go back there because for the same reasons and the same things that are facing hospitality and restaurants to a great extent, and for event venues, okay, is staffing. And that is a huge challenge heading into the summer, especially as I talked about the other day with the unemployment rate where it is, but it's also with benefits where they are for unemployment. There's a lot of people cashing in on that. And so they're not looking to take on a job that'll put some extra money in when they're getting some extra for other things. August is going to be an interesting time, and as we head towards the end of those benefits, and whether people, because you're not going to replace all those jobs. You are getting better at doing more with less. Okay, you are getting more efficient in your operations, and restaurants and banquet facilities and others will do the same. And so it'll be interesting to see what the unemployment numbers are come August, September, when nationwide the pandemic unemployment assistance goes away. As I mentioned the other night, there are states that are eliminating the pandemic unemployment assistance. It is a state opt-in, and states can opt out of it. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. South Carolina and Montana have already opted out. Other states are expected to. We'll see where that goes, and how and if that affects the job market. And right, Kitty, we are telling anyone we hire, and we're reminding all our existing staff of what our normal hours are, because we will return to those at some point. I am hopeful by fall we're able to do that. Okay, to our pre-pandemic hours. I'm hopeful by fall we're able to do that, because I also expect by fall that there'll be more business at those times. The summertime anyways for us is the softer time at the extension of those hours. So it's not as big a deal from a business perspective. But I am hopeful when people go back to school and there's more back to the office come fall, that there'll be a reason for us to stay open later. And we'll see where it takes us. We'll see where it takes us. But that is one of the ways that we are not stressing out our staff right now. Okay, that we can do it with a smaller head count, a smaller but better head count. And so we're in a good place with that. So that's kind of exciting. Because we have to do that. But that is a challenge with the hospitality sector. And the biggest thing with all of this, the biggest gift that you can have with all of this, wherever you go to do business, whether you go out somewhere, whether you're at a banquet somewhere, whether you're doing something, the biggest thing you can have is patience. Okay, I mean, I can't stress enough. Everybody wants to do better. Everybody wants to serve you faster. Everybody wants to get your order up quicker. But you are limited by machines and labor. Okay, it takes labor to do everything. Even the big guys, as much as they are automating, take a McDonald's of the world, as much as they are continuously automating. I mean, they have drink dispensers that drop the drinks now, fill them, move on to the next one, keep your order together. They have their fries are dropping and dumping out and salting, and they have machines for everything, which is making it better for the people that are working there, the limited staff that are working there. But it still takes so much time to make the fries, to make the drink, to make the chicken nuggets. These things still take time, and the more patient you can be with everybody, is the better. And hopefully, I saw a lot of not patience on the road driving today. That was disturbing, the way people were driving. But yeah, just a little bit of and nobody will ever accuse me of having a light foot, but a little bit of patience goes a long way. I like this quote tonight from Confucius. Confucius, even, our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Our greatest glory is in not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Rising every time we fall. It is Self-Care Sunday, folks. So Self-Care Sunday is that important day. every week. This is the important day every week where we refill your pitcher. You give out all week long. But you got to recharge. You got to refill. You got to take time to do it. And Sunday is the symbol of it. It's the day we have used since the beginning of this. And entitled it Self-Care Sunday. But it does not have to be Sunday. Well, Neil said it's Self-Care Sunday. Well, yes, but it can be for you. It can be Self-Care Tuesday. Kitty worked today, so she may take Self-Care Tuesday this week. Or Self-Care Wednesday. Or a half-day Tuesday. Or a half-day Thursday. However you do it is okay. Just take time to recharge every week, each and every week. Do not forget that. And this week we have each and every week we have a recipe of the week, each and every week. And this week's recipe is yogurt chicken, which just sounds yummy. Yogurt chicken is just sounding yummy. And it truly sounds delicious. This came right from Adele's secret cookbook, the secret cookbook of Adele, and greatly appreciate it. Her sending that in. You can send a recipe in too. You just email it to Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com, and your recipe can be the recipe of the week. You can find yogurt chicken and all the recipes in the Resale Strong cookbook at narts.org/resalestrong, REC. narts.org/resalestrong, REC is the direct link to the Resale Strong cookbook, where you can find appetizers, entrees, desserts, drinks, all sorts of to cook to your heart's content. And we're going to talk more about cooking tonight in our issue. Oh, Kitty, I love that. I love that you worked so that your Sunday manager could visit her mom in the nursing home. That's awesome. I love that. I have worked a lot of Mother's Days so that my mothers could have off as much as possible. I'm trying to think, did I have any one that's a mother work today? No, I had all my youngers, all the kids work today. They have fur babies, but none of them are themselves mothers. I have aunties and ones with fur babies, but none of them that work today were mothers. I usually try to avoid that on Mother's Day, and I've been known to work many a Mother's Day so that people could have time off. So, but this is the way. But we got Sunday off today. And I really didn't. I did a couple of things at my desk early this morning, but not a whole heck of a lot, which is a nice self-care Sunday. Talking about the where's my glasses here? Talking about the restaurant and hospitality sector. The Restaurant Revitalization Fund opened last Monday. And so far, in the first couple days of the fund, they received nearly 200,000 applications from restaurants, bars, and other eligible businesses in all 50 states, the Washington, D.C. area, and the 5 U.S. territories. 100,000 of those applications, so nearly 200,000 applications in, and nearly half of that came from restaurants, bars, and other eligible businesses owned and controlled by women. Well, no, excuse me. So about a quarter of it came from businesses controlled by women. Another 4,200 came from veterans. Socially and economically disadvantaged individuals had about an eighth, or some combination of all three. And nearly another quarter of the businesses had under $500,000 in annual pre-pandemic revenue, representing some of the smallest restaurants and bars in America. And, the SBA is still taking applications. That money is going to go quickly. The money for this is going to go very, very quickly. So if you have somebody that doesn't know about it, doesn't think they'll qualify, whatever, tell them to get their application in. I mean, it is just so important to get your application in. Some people just do not go for this stuff because they're afraid of it or they think it won't get forgiven. This is a straight up grant. You either get it or you don't get it. And if you get it, it's a straight up grant. There's no forgiveness process or other paperwork after the fact. As long as you didn't commit fraud in the application process, you're good to go with it. That is the only way they'll come after you is if they find that you committed fraud. But we want to keep these small restaurants and businesses in our communities. It's just so important. I think yesterday I mentioned I went out with my cousin for coffee. He was passing through town, and we went out for coffee. In the first place, he's a history professor. I was going to take him to this bakery. I don't get down to the Hartford area very often, and I was going to take him to this bakery that's really cool and it's got some history to it and everything else. This bakery coffee shop, and of course they closed because of the pandemic and are not reopening. So I was a little sad about that, and I don't want that. There's so many other countless places that you count on. That have to count on. So we want to make sure they stay in business one way or the other, whether that's getting takeout from them now or making sure they apply for these grants. We want to make sure that they stay in business. It doesn't have to be to get a second PPP. It doesn't have to be 8 weeks from your first. It does not have to be 8 weeks from your first. Your bank is wrong. Okay. And if they are not a community financial institution, you're out of luck with them anyways. And I'd be pissed at my bank. It does not. It specifically in the rules does not have to be 8 weeks. You just have to certify that you have used the certification that you have to make. It is that you've used or will have used all of the money. It is a simple certification. You can't ask for forgiveness before 8 weeks are up, but you can apply for a second before then. You don't have to apply for forgiveness to get it. But if your bank is not a community financial institution, you need to get with one in your area. We can talk about that. You are on my list, Lindsay. You are on my list to give a ring to. I'm glad you got your second shot, and rest up. That's more important. In other things happening out there, American Express has put $40 million into a fund to provide loans to small business owners of color and minorities. And I'm not advocating for loans for businesses. I'm advocating for low-cost money so you're still standing. I'm not trying to put people into debt, but I want you to still be standing. So American Express has put this into this fund by a coin, ACCION, ACCION. The ACCION Opportunity Fund is the fund that they have an operation that American Express has given over $40 million to help them provide funding to minority and Black-owned businesses, people of color, throughout the United States. And the loan amounts range from $5,000 to $100,000 with low interest rates and generous repayment terms. So again, I'm not advocating debt. A link for it will go up in the NARTS private Facebook group later tonight, and then over at narts.org/resale strong by noon tomorrow. for you. So again, it's not advocating debt, but it's so important that we keep you standing. Okay. If you weren't going out of business before the pandemic, I don't want you going out of business because of it. So, we're headed towards the finish line here. We're not there yet. Fauci says we're in the sixth inning. Okay. I'll hold him to it. Okay. I'll hold him to it. We're not there yet. Okay. We know we're the ninth, but baseballs can be some long games sometimes. So this is a long game. Okay, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're starting week 60/61 this week. Week 60/61, and it's a great week to have a great week. But, it is not over yet. So anywhere to keep cash in the bank is important. So for Self-Care Sunday, I wanted to talk to you about how being more productive starts with doing nothing. Nothing. That's what I'm telling you. Being more productive starts with doing nothing. And I know that sounds counterproductive. Okay? I mean, sometimes you just got to get up there and get going, but no. The secret to achieving more is finding time to do nothing. In our efforts to squeeze every second from the day, it seems counterintuitive to watch a pot of coffee boil or gaze out the window. But your brain, it's up here, uses those free periods for important cleanup work, neuroscience research indicates. And during the pandemic, as the boundaries between work and home have blurred, it has become harder to create mental breaks. Even brief timeouts help the brain reinforce long-term learning and productivity. You come out of downtime able to learn more and can access that learning faster. When you take a break, you may want to do something mind-consuming to help with motivation, but technically your best way of taking a break is to do something mindless. Says Barbara Oakley, a professor of engineering at Oakland University in Michigan, who teaches a popular online course on how to open your mind to learning. To ease into allowing yourself to do nothing, start with something familiar. Here are some techniques. Take a long shower. A natural place to start slowing down is a habit that's already built into your schedule, such as taking a shower. Letting your mind wander here can be a stepping stone to quieting more hectic environments. Or try blocking off time to look out your window. In her book, How to Do Nothing, Resisting the Attention Economy, writer Jenny Odell describes how bird watching became her favorite slow-down activity. Exhausted after pulling an all-nighter, she had gazed out the window and noticed a cluster of yellow birds. I burned out, and in that state of forced relaxation, that happened to be when I noticed, she said. Play a game without keeping score is another way. Dr. Oakley points out that while our body's dopamine reward system might encourage tasks, keeping score is laborious. Instead of competing against your crossword best, find a puzzle game on your phone that requires simply swiping. Take a solo walk. Leave the Fitbit at home and free up an hour to absorb the scenery and silence. Being in nature is linked to a multitude of physical and mental benefits. Be sure not to create a competition, which can take the relaxation out of the activity. We get fixated on taking 10,000 steps, she says. Yes, it's good to go for a walk, but this isn't a job. Enjoy the meandering rather than the race. Enjoy the meandering, not the race. Cook a big meal. Borrowing from the downtime that the Italians call dolce far niente, and I totally screwed up my Italian there. The sweetness of doing nothing is how that translates, if I pronounced it correctly. The act of cooking a meal can encourage a wandering mind. It can be tempting to create a culinary masterpiece to make the time worth it, but fight the urge. Miss Odell suggests trying to see the non-work time as something other than the negative space left after work. Try a simple recipe that requires slow preparation. Not only is the activity downtime, but bonus points for resting at the table between courses. Just sit down. If you're struggling to get enough rest at night, try a short nap. Simply find a comfortable chair and breathe. While you're napping, remember that your brain never is. Rest is one of the most important ways to enhance the neurological flexibility to build the kind of conceptual understanding that is related to identity and purpose. Consider that a reason to lose the guilt over a daily rest. Some of your best ideas come while brushing your teeth, driving and watching a masterclass. Hopefully listening to a masterclass while you're driving, not driving and actually watching a screen there while you're driving, unless you're being chauffeured, Lindsay. In which case, if you're being chauffeured, go ahead. Watch the masterclass. I believe life's always learning. That's part of why we're here every night, is to continue to learn, continue to expand our minds. But these are important lessons, okay? Doing nothing. Tesla. You're like my nephew. My nephew got one for his birthday. His wife bought him one for his birthday. I did not marry her daddy's money. But it starts with doing nothing. Take a long shower. Play a game without keeping score. Take a solo walk. Cook a big meal, not being a masterpiece, and just sit down. Okay, people? This is how you do it. Just do nothing. That is what Self-Care Sunday is all about. It's not the next 100 things. It's not all the things on your list. I mean, I keep my pad. I keep my little portfolio. Okay, I keep my little portfolio. But on Self-Care Sunday, you zip it up and you don't do it. You just do nothing. You just do nothing. Work on a jigsaw puzzle. Well, see, jigsaw puzzles stress me out, Kitty. Jigsaw puzzles and Legos stress me out. Or trying to do the Legos to the pattern. Those things stress me out. But, a little bit of nothing is okay. Sit and listen to the music, the birds chirping. Take a walk. These things work. Okay, they rest your mind so that you can have more focus time, so that you can be more focused when you need to be. Okay, so that you can get more out of your focus time. That's why these times are so important. A word search is good, Ellen. A word search is good. I like that. It's good to have the chicest girl in the world hop in here. Didn't see you sneak in, Ellen. Happy Self-Care Sunday to you and Mike. Happy Mother's Day to you. Hope all is well in your world and your beach day. I hope you're taking in the beach. I know where your quiet, restful place is. I know where your quiet, restful place is, at the beach. I remember when I tried to tell Mike to take your phone away from you at the beach, but I digress. I remember. That was my Mike was like, you're a crazy man. Take Ellen's phone away from her. But you need this time to disconnect. You need this time to disconnect. You have to take time every week to disconnect. It is okay. It is okay to disconnect. The world will not end because you disconnected. The world will not end because you disconnected. Okay? But you might end if you don't disconnect. Okay? That's what I'm saying. You will burn out. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's keep this marathon going. You have to keep this going. The end is in sight, but this is not over yet. This is not over yet. I will love it when it is, but it is not over yet. So keep that in mind, folks. That is your lesson this Self-Care Sunday. You know what else? This video and everything that I talk about, goes over to narts.org/resale strong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you, it is all over there. All the files, even the recipe of the week, the Resale Strong cookbook, all of it is there at narts.org/resale strong. That is what I am telling you. I am here every night. You can also get on there a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and yes, you can ring the bell. Ring that bell so you know when a new one drops. You can also share it with all your friends in business. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody get across the finish line. Everybody. I am here every night at More 8th and Ish, live in the Narts private Facebook group. That's where you find me. But if you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. You grew up in an arboretum? Kitty, I did not know that. And that is the best place to de-stress. You know, sometimes just taking a walk, but I love that. I did not know that about you, that you grew up in an arboretum. Lindsay, there's lots of great online sites for a second PPP, but if it is not with a community financial institution, they don't have the funds. Those are the only ones. Those are the only types of institutions that have funds left for the PPP. That's the only thing that the SBA is still funding for the PPP. So you have to find a community financial institution, preferably in state. And you should be able to find one, and they still have money. And they tend to help a underserved community, specifically women, minorities, all sorts of different things along those lines, of which you qualify in the women category, but a community financial institution in your state is what you want to be looking for. You'll probably find one in your community where you are in Kentucky. I already said it. We start this program every night on the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book. I'm all tongue-tied tonight. The Good Morning, Good Night book is where we start this. Tonight, we're on page 116. If you did not... we're not here at the top of the program. Our good morning tonight is good morning. I believe in you. Not always in our leaders. That's the truth. Not always in the subway schedules, but always in you. You unwavering. Our good night tonight is good night. I believe in you. Not always in our institutions, not always in my own strength, but always in you, you evergreen. There's your graphics, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. A Mother's Day celebration. We will party again. We will party in person. And when we do, I will be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at More 8th and Ish, know that you, and you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.